Hey there, critters! It's a brand new episode of Awake All Night, the Sugar Glider Show. Adama and Taya here, and we have a sweet interview with digital logo artist Mina Kim. And you, yes you, can win a fast track wheel. Here's Patrick.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 6th episode of Awake All Night, the Sugar Glider Show. We got a good show for you today, but we're going to start off with
Bonza Product of the Month.
this month's recipient is the good people at Fast Track. They make a beautiful wheel for your sugar glider, and this is the new color, and I have one in my hand. They sent it to me and said do a photo contest. So the best sugar glider photo that gets sent to slotjaw at AOL.com wins the wheel. I put the wheel in the cage, and Adama found it first. Of course, he does everything backwards, but he had fun anyway. They've got really cool wheels, so check them out at www.gofasttrack.com. The best sugar glider photo wins the wheel.
Bonza Product of the Month.
Bonza Product of the Month is not an advertisement. If you have a glider product that you would like to be considered for Bonza Product of the Month, email Patrick at slotjaw at AOL.com. Alright, our first interview is with Mina Kim. She is an artist, a digital artist. She specializes in logos, does a lot of things in the glider community. She's got 5 gliders herself and 2 on the way. We're going on a road trip to Gainesville.
The first time I saw a sugar glider, it was at a reptile show, and they were just the cutest thing I had ever laid my eyes on. Like, my heart exploded. So I knew I had to have one. I got more, and now got the guys I have right now. I've been drawing pretty much my entire life. My mom was an artist, so you know, when she would have her art out, I would join her, and I, would draw and doodle in class all the time. And I posted some art online, like I had a little DeviantArt website, and you could post your art, and I was doing very little digital art at the time. This was in high school. And I ended up talking to Peggy at Critter Love, actually. And she was the first person who hired me to draw a sugar glider drawing for her. And after I did one for Peggy, I did one for Alicia and, a few other people. And this was probably close to 10 years ago. And I've just been, I guess through word of mouth mostly, been drawing lots of sugar glider drawings since then. But I draw a lot of reptile logos or banners mostly. I consider it more like digital illustrations or banners, because a logo is kind of just like a small little image, usually very simple, like a Nike swoosh. And people kind of want these digital paintings with cute little sugar gliders romping around in fields. So I mean, I guess 10 years ago I started drawing, and every once in a while I seem to be doing more drawings for Peggy. But yeah, mostly sugar glider drawings and some reptile ones, and I just finished working on a children's book too, actually. I don't do a lot of art that's not digital, mainly because I don't have money to just go buy paper and supplies and stuff like that. I did it in undergrad. I would draw traditional mediums and stuff like that. But lately I do mostly entirely digital art. But I work outside the cartoon style. I do realism too for portraits and pet portraits and stuff like that people have asked for. I charge more if they want realism, because it takes so much more time to get all the details in there. It's just far more time consuming and far less fun for me. I probably get more requests than I usually have time for. I'll work on a couple of logos a month. Usually it takes a couple of weeks, and it really depends on how burnt out I am or how excited I am about the project. Unless I'm poor, then it'll get done real fast. Peggy asked me to do the HPW complete drawing.
Right.
And you know, I went to Peggy's website and checked out her stuff again, and I was like, oh, they're so cute. So these are my sugar gliders back here. I have 5 currently, and one of them happens to be Adama's older sister. Maisley is what I named her. She's a white mosaic pied. She is my favorite one, but don't tell the others. And then, you know, I've got Maisley's boyfriend. His name is Meyer, and he's a ringtail mosaic. And then the other cage right now has Rex, Posey, and Aria. Aria's a diva. She thinks she's the queen bee, and if she doesn't want you in her space, she'll tell you to go back to your peasants' quarters. And Rex is unfortunately the one who has to deal with this queen. And he's a sweetheart, so hopefully if they have Joeys, they take after his personality and not be so into themselves. Divalicious. Diva, exactly. And Rex is a Cremino, and he's awesome. I love that guy. And the last one is Posey, and she's a gray. That's possible het for Cremino. Hopefully she is a het and she proves out, but you know, if not, we'll still love her just the same. I'm getting 2 more sugar gliders. They're coming from Luis at NH Sugar Gliders. And their names are Wookiee and Jawa. They're Star Wars names. I love Star Wars. Wookiee is he's a true platinum mosaic. And everything I know about my spending would have told me not to get him. But I saw his pictures and I just fell in love. It was love at first sight. I was like, this is the love of my life, and I have to have him in my house. So, you know, I casually messaged her, kind of like, maybe I'll get him, you know, I really shouldn't. And then I ended up seeing someone else post on his pictures, like, oh, I really want him. And then I got kind of jealous, so then that's how the deposit was sent for him. I got him a girlfriend, Jawa. She's a Lou het. So hopefully I get some interesting colors, platinums and Lous and mosaics and such from them. I'm hoping to breed these gliders. All of them are breeding groups, pairs, or my trio. And share some of the cute Joeys from them with others. Yes, I'm into reptiles. I currently keep about 40 to 50 geckos, and I would say maybe like 8 snakes, different species. I got my first gecko, he was a leopard gecko, when I was 12. I believe I was 12 anyways. So it's been 15 years. The menagerie is actually a portmanteau. It's a combination of 2 words, Mina, which is my name, and menagerie, which is collection of exotic and unusual animals, which is exactly what's going on here. I breed geckos, specifically crested geckos and Chahua geckos. They're in the same kind of family. They're both from New Caledonia. It's an island near Australia, pretty much. They're great little geckos, and they're really easy, and they come in a lot of colors, and they're really interesting, so that's how I got into them. I just think they're neat little guys. If you want to send me a message or ask about geckos or my gliders, you can send me an email at themenagerie@gmail.com, or you can visit one of my Facebook pages, The Menagerie Gliders for the gliders, or just The Menagerie on Facebook for the reptiles.
Your questions get answered on Ask Peggy.
Will flash photography make my sugar glider go blind? That's from Randy Hogan.
If you're using flash for your cameras, it's not going to cause your gliders to go blind like some believe. Will they be sensitive to that flash? Yes, they will. So are you and I. So keep that in mind. A way to lighten that up so you don't flash the glider out, the color of the glider out, you can always place a piece of tissue over the top of the flash before using it. Also, you can also use settings without using flash at all. Another thing that I would recommend for you to do after taking these photos, if you're going to have them online, use a watermarking. I use Contenta Converter myself. This will prevent others online from using your photos without permission, be it for sale or just posting pretty little photos. Always make sure you've got your name on those photos.
Email your questions for Peggy for future shows to slotjaw@aol.com. That's slotjaw@aol.com.
Here's another Adama Bond, the Sugar Glider Diner.
Welcome to the 6th installment of Adama Bond, and we're going to start off a little bit different. We will get to video of Adama and Ty soon, but I get emails all the time saying, what do you feed these guys? So basically I'm going to go through my basic everyday routine, which changes quite a bit, but this in general is what I do. And by the way, welcome to the first edition of the Sugar Glider Diner. A show within a show within a show. Anyway, we're going to the grocery store. You're going to grab yourself a green pepper, a cucumber, some apples, some frozen veggies, some more frozen veggies, some frozen fruit, some more frozen fruit, and very important, a 24 ounce can of Bud Light Lime. We're going to take apart the bell pepper, pull out all that weird stuff in the middle, flatten it out, and chop it up. I try to chop it up in different varying sizes, small, medium, and large pieces. Not so much large, but large, large, I guess, if you're a sugar glider. Get yourself a big pan and dump the chopped bell pepper into the pan. Next, I cut up the cucumber, mostly small pieces, and again, that goes into the pan. Next, the apples, and by the way, wash all these items, obviously, but, I wash them thoroughly. Who knows where they've been. Anyway, okay, so we're chopping up the apples, and I try to make them, again, small enough for a sugar glider to fit in his hand. Now, all your frozen bags you also dump into the pot. This is not rocket science. And then I grab a big spoon and I stir it all up to make sure everything is distributed fairly evenly. And then I bag them in freezer bags, maybe halfway. I don't want to fill up these freezer bags all the way to the top, because if you're using the same bag every day, after a while you start getting freezer burn. So I fill them up about, maybe a third or half of the way, and I get about 5 bags, and I freeze them. So now, food preparation for each evening, I have 3 heavy glass bowls. And the reason I have heavy glass bowls is because these boys are like bowling pins and bowling balls, throwing each other around, and if I put something, a little plastic dainty cup in there, it's going to go flying. And these bowls do go flying, but at least they're heavy and the food remains in them. Alrighty, bowl 1. When you take your frozen veggies out, sometimes I have to grab a hammer like this and beat them so I can break some off, because it's usually one big frozen veggie fruit thing. People always want to know how much to feed your sugar gliders. They don't eat that much. That's about it right there. Maybe if I look at the bowl, I go, oh, yeah, I could use another piece of fruit, because I know they like the fruit better than the veggies, so I toss something else in that may be lacking. Bowl 2, HPW powder. I grab 2 spoonfuls, put it in, add my water, and stir it up. That is bowl 2. Bowl 3, that's the fun bowl for me. I put whatever I want. Here's some Cheerios, maybe some spaghetti for Adama because he loves pasta, maybe a little bit of peanut butter, maybe some sweet potatoes. How about some chicken? Yesterday I put some chicken bones in, and man, they did hollow out those bones. It's amazing. And there you go. There's the 3 bowls. That's dinner. It varies. You don't want to eat the same thing every single night, so vary it up a little bit. But that's it. And by now, you should be finished with your Bud Light. So now we're going to check in on the boys a little bit. Ty's been going out with me a lot more. I can trust him now not to be too adventurous and try to jump off and get on everything he shouldn't. So I can take both of them at the same time, or I'll vary it up. One day I'll bring Ty with me, one day I'll bring Adama with me, and we're getting closer and closer. One thing I've been working with Adama is having him come to me when I call him. I put my hand out, and he's almost 100% now. Every time I ask him, he's back to me. And this is just a really weird and cute picture of Ty, so I thought I'd stick it in there. That's where we're at with the Dollar Bond, and we will see you next time.
That's it for now, Sugar Bears. I'm Emily, the Sheila from Down Under, for Awake All Night, the Sugar Glider Show. See you again June 8th.